Product review for Noxgear. This is a little safety vest type thing. It lights up, so if you're going to run at night or early during the morning, any low light conditions, or maybe if it's raining out or snowing real bad, it lets people see you a lot better. I'll show you the lights here in a second. It's Noxgear, Noxgear. It's really cool. Reach around the back real quick and light it up. It's got a couple different lights. It's got flashies, a couple different strobe options. Then there's a solid. You can change colors a little bit. As you see, I'm cycling through. So what I like about this, it's very comfortable, very lightweight. You really don't notice it when you're running or doing any kind of exercise, whether it's running, biking, hiking, trail races. You could even just be out for walking your dog, or maybe you're working construction a little bit. You want something so people could see you. Maybe you're holding one of their signs in low light conditions. Maybe you're a flagger or something like that. You need a little bit more safety, or you want to feel a little bit more safe. This is the type of system that you want to use. It's a little bit reflective in some spots, as you see going around. These yellow straps here are an accessory to it. I think it's like an extra $10. They just snap into place. Otherwise, you see this, what I want to call like a, I don't know, like a plastic string type thing. However, whatever it's made out of, polyurethane. Either way, it's very bendable, but it actually goes up like this, the whole way around to the back in here. But me, I bought the extra little straps here to make it more comfortable. That way I don't catch anything, and ruin the things that light up, whatever they want to call them, the light up. I'll take this off real quick. I'll show you the back. Now I got an older one. This is the battery operated one. Takes 3 AAA batteries. I always use lithium ultimate by Energizer, just so it lasts a little bit longer. Those batteries always last a little bit longer. And then all I'm doing is hitting this button, cycling through. Now to turn it off, you hold it in 3 seconds. And when you want to turn it on, just hit it once. Turn the light off real quick. As you see, it's very bright. We'll cycle through some things. Here we go back to the solid colors. It's got like a red, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink before it does its little flashes. Personally, I always like one of the flashing ones, sort of like this, where it sort of cycles through the different cycles, like the different color cycles. I find it, I feel safer when it's actually flashing a little bit. Like I said, it's sort of one of these modes. Or I'll put it on my back, that way you might be able to see it a little bit better, the flashiness. So if you're driving down the road, you're going to see this. Or you're going to see this. Depending on which way you're coming. So if there's a vehicle coming up behind you, you should feel a little bit safer, because they're going to see that brighter flash. But if you're running on the proper, if you're facing traffic like you should, they'll be seeing this view. So it alerts them a little bit more. Now the reason why I say I like the flash version, because if you're ever driving down a road late at night and you just see a light in the distance, it doesn't necessarily set off your mind as much. Whereas if there's something flashing in the distance or close by, your mind's like, hey, what's that? It's more like a warning signal or a caution. Whereas if you just have like a solid color, let's see if I can get to it real quick. All right, turn the light back off and I'll show you. So this is a solid color. So if you just saw this as you're driving, you might not think nothing of it, even though it's moving or bouncing up a little bit. Let me go through the lights. So once it starts flashing, obviously you're going to notice a little bit more than a solid color. So that's why I always tell people, if you're going to run on the road, or a place that's a little bit more sketchy where people are coming the opposite direction of you, always use a flashy setting instead of a solid color. But if you're out on a trail, if you're actually doing like a night race or anything like that, then a solid color is fine, because obviously other runners are going to be like, hey, I see a light in front of me. Obviously they're going to know it's another runner. But if you have anywhere where there's like bike traffic, horse traffic, vehicle traffic, always please use a flashing setting, because it sets something off in your mind. Hey, caution, slow down, whatever the case may be. It's a little bit safer. I feel it's a lot safer if you use the flash than a solid. Other people have agreed with me with that theory. But again, if I'm doing like a group run and we're all running at night on a trail, I might have mine just in a solid color, so I'm not, flashing in somebody's eyes all the time. But if I'm going to run on the road in low light conditions or bad weather conditions and I'm wearing this, I want that flashing, so it sort of sets off a signal in somebody's brain. Hey, something's not right ahead. When I say something's not right, there's something different in the road, like caution, hazard, or something like that. Oftentimes when I'm running on the road, in low light conditions, I feel vehicles slow down a lot more as they see the light than they do when they fly by me during really bright times of day, like in the mid-afternoon in the summer. They don't slow down as much in the midsummer when I'm not wearing this than in low light conditions when they see that flashing up ahead. It's always like a caution or slow down type signal that your mind gets compared to that solid color. So please wear a flashy setting if you're going to be in those kinds of conditions along the road, or again with on a trail with bike traffic or horse traffic or anything like that, that the flashing signal may be more beneficial to you. And one thing I like to touch about is these, you can see the light forever. Last year, I was doing a group run. We split off a little bit. We were actually in like two valleys, a couple 100 yards apart. Just a little bit of tree cover in between us, and I could see them flashing, what I said, a couple 100 yards away. Very bright, and you could just see them coming up the hills. And even a couple of different races I did, I could see people like coming down mountains with them, say like at Eastern States or World's End, where you can see those people from like long distances on hills. It's just like a headlamp. If you've ever seen a night race where you see people with like headlamps coming down a mountain, it's the same thing with these. You could see them from just as far away, especially if they're using a flashy thing. It really catches your eye as they're moving through things. So these are very bright. It's hard to show you that in a building, but if we were to go outside, you definitely could see me for a couple 100 yards away, and it's going to set something off in your brain, seeing that flash up ahead, that hey, there's something up ahead that I need to slow down or be cautious about. Luckily, it's a runner, so it's protecting me a lot more than just say a headlamp. Because even if for instance, if I'm just using a headlamp out running, people don't slow down as much. They just see that steady stream of light angled on the ground, moving a little bit, so they're not as cautious when they're coming by me or towards me. But when they see, well, they don't see me when I'm just wearing a headlamp, but if I'm wearing this, they tend to slow down a little bit more, be more cautious when they're driving near me. So I feel that the flashy signal does set something off that makes the driver more safer so they don't hit me, and me being safer, so I'm giving a signal to a driver to slow down, or hey, there's something up ahead that they need to be cautious about. The other thing is, as I said, as you see the silver here and across, it's also reflective. So as their light hits it, It's going to shine very bright on it as well, so it gives you another added sense of safety. It gives more like precaution to anybody around you. Hey, there's something there that I need to be worried about. So let's just say you're wearing this Noxgear vest and you haven't changed your light batteries for a couple months. All right, it happens. I've had it happen to me where I forgot to change the batteries, so it dies, a couple hour run. What's nice is I still got my headlamp, but with this safety reflective strip, once the light hits like a vehicle or something like that, or another runner coming up on me, it's still reflective enough where it catches them, maybe not as far, and it doesn't make them as cautious, but it's still an added safety feature where it throws that signal off, hey, slow down, be cautious, there's something up there. So that's a nice built-in safety feature with the strap around. I'll go to bend a little bit, as you see. And then when you get these, if you buy these, it's a little bit extra added bonus too. Anything that you could be seen, give you an added bonus to be seen when you're out in low light conditions or bad weather conditions. It's never a bad thing. So that's why I really rave about this vest. It really makes me feel safer. Again, it's Noxgear, Noxgear. They always offer tons of discounts. They actually have a better, I don't want to say better, but a newer model that's actually rechargeable. It's a USB. So if you're not going to do a bunch of night races where you need it for 12, 14 hours, that's the way to go, because then you don't have to use up batteries. Me, I sort of still like my old one because it uses batteries, even though I might go through them. Spend more money in the long run. If I need it for 10-hour trail ultra, I can switch out batteries real quick. I can't remember if the USB one's battery too, if there's an option for that, but either way, they have a USB rechargeable one, and then they have a battery one. They also have some other cool things for like pets. So if you're gonna buy this so you feel safer when you're walking your dog, they actually have one for your dog as well, and some other cool products to keep you safe. So check them out. I've seen the dog one in action once or twice, and I'll tell you what, you can see the dog just as far as you can the human when it's got the flashy thing going. But again, a lot of my group runs, we all have these, and it's nice to see, because if somebody gets a little bit ahead or falls behind, they could still see people, whereas if you're just wearing a headlamp, there's nothing else to indicate how far ahead they are. So if you have the Noxgear and you got, whether it be a solid light or a flashy light, you could still see people ahead of you. So maybe you had to go to the bathroom or get a drink, so people got ahead. And if you're doing like a trail race or something, maybe you're not sure which intersection they took, well, you can actually see the people a lot better with these than a headlamp, because the lights are going forward, whereas this is more of like a 360. So it helps you in a group setting as well, from being lost or separated from the group. Could go on a little bit more, but that's the general rundown of the Noxgear. I enjoy them. Everybody I know who's bought one really likes them. They feel safer wearing them, especially at night or early mornings. You really don't need this actually during the day. So yeah, I wouldn't say you need it like mid-afternoon in the summer, but if you want to, go ahead. Just an added safety issue or precaution. Just give them a chance. If you have any questions, the customer service is outstanding. They answer questions. They always offer discounts, anywhere from like 10 to 40% off. So check out deals. They have a lot of ambassadors too that push it. So check out one of them, help them out as well. I'm not an ambassador. I'm just really highly ecstatic, I guess is the word, for these. I've been wearing them for a couple years now. Never had any issues. I got them wet. They have held up. I've gotten them cold. In the middle of winter, I'm wearing them at night when it's like below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius. And then I've also worn them when it was like 90 degrees out midsummer at night. So they hold up under both conditions. I'm not sure what they're rated otherwise, like for hot and cold or water conditions, but any conditions, above your average, I would say they're still going to be fine. I mean, you might want to wash it once, just hand wash it. I don't know what the recommendations are, but I'm usually wearing another shirt or something, but it's never been stinky enough where I had to wash it. So um, I want to say it's more like an antimicrobial type material where you're not going to be stinking up the place if you don't wash it for a couple weeks. Um, Other than that, check them out. Buy one of these. It's definitely something to keep you safe. Um, it's a very good tool for any runner, biker, hiker, trail runner, whatever you're doing outside, walking your dog, walking your neighbor's dog. Uh, Hell, if you're even mowing the grass at night um, near the road, this is one of those things that you should get and have in your house just for safety and to make life better. So check them out and get one soon.